Hello, I am Christopher Healy, author of The Hero's Guide to Saving Your Kingdom, available May 1st from Walden Pond Press, and I am here today to answer some of Misty's questions about the book. Before I get started, though, I do just want to apologize to anyone who notices the ratty garbage dump nature of my office chair here. I have a really annoying cat who likes to climb up there and use it as her perch, and she has simply destroyed the thing. It's not worth replacing since she will just destroy any new chair I get. But anyway, on with the interview. Question number 1 is, what inspired you to take on the stories of the nameless fairy tale princes? Basically, it's the nameless part. It's the idea that these Prince Charming characters, who are the prototypical heroes in all of children's literature, they're characters who, in their original stories, we know nothing about. They just show up at the end and save the day, or in some cases, they don't even save the day, they just get married, and that's what makes them a hero, somehow. But anyway, these characters, they're kind of like territory that's just ripe for the plumbing, and I felt it was about time that somebody decided to give these guys real characteristics, real personalities, and real backstories, and I thought, why not have it be me? Question 2. How did their distinct personalities come about for you? Which fairy tale prince needed the most help in bringing him to life and making him more truly a hero? Well, for all 4 princes, what I did was to look at the original fairy tales, see what little information I had about these guys to begin with, and in some cases it was pretty much nothing, and then extrapolate from there, because I wanted people to be able to read The Hero's Guide to Saving Your Kingdom and see these characters, to see Frederick and Duncan and Gustav and Liam, and to see how odd and different they are, but still be able to say, yeah, I can believe that that was the guy from Cinderella, or Snow White, or Sleeping Beauty. So, like, for instance, with Cinderella's prince, what little do we know about him? We know he's a dancer, he can dance, he is rich and wears fancy suits, and noble ladies like to line up for a chance to meet him, and that's pretty much it. That's all we got to go on. So I took it from there, and I thought, okay, someone who has all those characteristics might also not be very outdoorsy. He probably is a little timid, maybe. He's kind of a shut-in. He doesn't get out much. And so I think you can look at my Frederick and see him as this kind of very timid, foppish guy, and you can look and you can say, yeah, that makes sense. That I can believe that's the Cinderella guy. And I did that for all 4 princes, although definitely the one who was the most difficult was Duncan, who is Snow White's prince, because in the original Snow White story, he does nothing. He just wanders through the woods, stumbles across this girl who is asleep or possibly dead. He doesn't know. How could he know? She's in a coffin. I don't know what he would think. But that's all he does. He walks, stumbles, finds girl, kisses girl. Is that heroic? I don't know. It doesn't really fit my definition. So I had to work pretty hard to kind of get Duncan to be a hero. But it was a fun process. Question 3. Carrying this over to world building, can you tell us a bit about finding the balance between making these characters, stories, and worlds your own, and remaining faithful to people's ideas of them? What did you struggle with the most? Well, it definitely was a challenge to try to create a unique and different fantasy world when I was starting from some of the most famous stories in the world as my foundation. But basically what I tried to do is fill my world with as many people and monsters and places and historical details and geographical details, and just basically fill it with so much stuff that as you're reading the book, all of this new stuff will flood your head so much that it pushes out the old stuff. And you basically forget about the stories you already knew as a kid and just kind of lose yourself in the new world. And that's my goal anyway. Hopefully it works. But that's what I did. Question 4. Princes aren't the only fairy tale characters in need of a little PR and a little lifestyle focus. If you could get your hands on any other fairy tale character and turn the spotlight on them, who would it be and why? Well, I would definitely say the villains in general. They also really get short shrift in those original stories. We don't know their motivation most of the time. They're just evil for the sake of being evil. Or even when they do have a motivation in the story, it's something really lame and so petty. Like, they're jealous that someone is prettier than them, or they didn't get invited to a party, so that's why they want to be evil and, destroy a whole kingdom. In the book, I kind of try to have some fun with that, and my main villain, Zolbera, is the witch from the Rapunzel story, who, in the original Rapunzel story, is just annoyed that some guy stole turnips from her garden. That all hinges around someone stealing a turnip. And so I definitely wanted to flesh that out, give her more of a real backstory, give her a motivation, have people understand why she turned evil, why she became so evil, and how something as simple as a turnip being stolen could set off the chain of events that lead to the Rapunzel story. I would love to do things like that for other fairy tale villains too. I think that would be fun. Question number 5 is, what can we anticipate for our heroes in future stories? I am currently working on the sequel. All of my secrets are right in here. The book will be titled The Hero's Guide to Storming the Castle. And I will let you know that in the book, a castle will be stormed. I will also let you know that there will be a wedding in book 2. And I'm not saying whose wedding, but there is one, definitely. And also there is a circus. A circus comes into play in the plot. Also, of course, you will have all the princes back, and a lot of the same villains will reappear again, as well as a whole bunch of new ones. And the princesses, of course, will also be there, and you'll actually see a lot more of them. The women will come to the forefront a lot more in the sequel, which is something I'm very excited about, because I really love showing the interplay between these princes and the women in their lives. So that's a little bit of what you have to look forward to. Question 6. Would you rather spend time as a frog, waiting to be kissed, or be forced to kiss a sleeping, possibly dead, woman in the hopes that she'll wake up and A, love you, and B, not have you arrested? Both situations pose their own unique set of problems. That is true. I would not want to be a frog. I think it would be awful to be a frog. So I would have to choose the kissing the enchanted girl scenario. As wrong-ish as that feels, I think I would probably just do what Duncan does in my book, which is to tell himself it's for good cause. Just kiss and hope for the best. I think it's a lot better scenario than being a frog. I do not like swamps.